So I am taking a walk in my old neighborhood right now. I just haven't been down here a while. Like I said, I don't usually come over that often anymore. I have my reasons for that, but I'm starting to I don't know, I feel a lot of changes within me, physically, mentally, just in general. There's a lot of changes within me. There's a lot of changes around me, a lot of changes involving the people that I surround myself with. So like I said, I'm just still taking all these steps and just moving forward in life. Things are starting to feel a lot better, a lot more like this is the path that I'm meant to be on. This is the steps that I'm meant to be taking. But yeah, so I'm just taking a little walk before I actually go back, knock on the door, see who's home, and talk. It's a really nice day to be out right now. This neighborhood has always been quiet. Like, even when I lived here, we had a time where there was more kids here. One by one, they all started moving out, and pretty much my family was the only one left with kids. So the neighborhood got boring. We didn't want to be here no more. We didn't want to walk around the neighborhood no more. It was kind of like, why are we the only ones left here? All the other kids, their families done moved out. Why are we still here? Why we can't move to another neighborhood with some more kids? I can even see that some of these houses have been remodeled. Because, yeah, this neighborhood does not look the same. This house did not look like this. I've actually been inside that house because my friend used to live there. We went to the same school and everything. That house did not look like that at all. So it's kind of interesting to see the changes that has happened over the years. There's a few other houses back that changed as well, but that one was like the most prominent change, especially since I've been in that house. There's a few other houses in the neighborhood that I've been in as well. But, I ain't about to circle back around just to show those houses. It'd be cool if I had a video from years back to show the changes in. But I have not taken a real walk like this in so long. And it feels nice. Especially since it's in a different location. I can go outside my apartment and walk, of course, downtown. But I haven't walked in an actual neighborhood in ages. Even when I lived with my sister, she had her own house, but I never walked around that neighborhood. I kind of didn't feel safe walking around by myself down there, to be honest. But this neighborhood is always, like I said, been quiet and peaceful. So, well, I will say back then it was kind of scary to take a walk by yourself, because there was this one man, we called him the weird man. We would call it the weird man's house, because he seemed creepy. I don't know, he seemed like one of those houses that be in the movies where what's that one kid's movie, Monster House or something. I don't know, his house, that was his house. So it was always scary walking past his house or anything. We had to get something out of his yard or anything. It was just he would always be staring out his window. He never spoke for real. He'd just be so. It seems like it's pretty hot out here. It actually is. It's not extremely hot. And I got on my interview outfit. I literally call this my interview shirt. I wear this to almost any interview I go to. I have other outfits and things I wear too, but this is like one of my main ones. There's like a few shirts that I call my interview shirts that I'll choose between those few shirts anytime I have an interview. And I can't say this one, anytime I've worn this one to an interview, I have gotten the job. So if I know I for sure want to get the job, maybe this is the shirt I need to put on. Yeah, I like this. And I think this is something that I'm going to be thinking about later when I get home. Like, yeah, I walked through my old neighborhood today, and it just took my mind back to my old living situations, my old home. Okay, so we're in the next neighborhood now. I literally walked around the whole corner, the whole neighborhood. So we also used to come on this street a lot too, and we had friends on this street. This house right here, there was a girl that we used to play with, but her mom did not like us. I don't want to say what the reason might have been, but yeah, she didn't really like us. She would try to get us in trouble. She didn't want us playing with her kid. Like, it was just, that I don't want to get into that, but that's what that was. This house we've been in, this was one of the main houses that we came in a lot. They used to have a tree house in the backyard, so I can see that tree house is no longer there. But yeah, the girl that used to live here, her name was Rihanna, and she was cool for a little while, but then she got weird. She got into a couple fights in the neighborhood. She got into a couple fights with, my cousins. can't remember if they were like fist fights or anything, but definitely some arguments and a fist fight with someone in the neighborhood. But yeah, I have spent time in a lot of these houses in this neighborhood, and it's just so weird to see how different they are now. Like, I wish I could go in and see what's different inside of them, because you can just see the outside changes, but the inside has probably changed a lot too. And just to think, like, you know, several years ago, I was in this house and this is what it looked like, and you know, this is where I was at this period of time so many years ago. I don't know. I'm also coming up on another street. I'm not going to cross the street and go into that neighborhood, but we used to always go down there as well. I'll kind of show it when I walk past it, but we used to go down there. There was houses down there. I think it was about maybe 2 houses or 3 houses on that street that we've been in, because we had friends there. Then of course there was drama involved with those people as well. So yeah, I don't know, it's good times, bad times. Hear the birds. The shade feels good right now. Ooh, it's a dog coming up here. I don't know if it's on this chain or not. It looks like a big dog, so I don't know if I really want to walk all the way up there. I know I don't really mess with other people's dogs now, so I don't know about that. I'm kind of worried about if I should walk all the way up there or not. I do want to take this journey. I just don't know. Like, is y'all dog friendly? Is y'all dog on a leash? This sun got my eyes watering. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm definitely crying right now. But yeah, so yeah, I'm scared of that dog. I ain't even ready to hold y'all. I don't know if that dog is on a leash or not. It's just up there chilling on the porch. I ain't gonna mess with it. I don't even want to take that chance. So yes, I did just let a dog block me from finishing this whole walkthrough around the full neighborhood, you know, do the whole circle. But it's all right. I got most of it, you know. I'm letting a dog stop me. A dog that could have came, bit me. We was just talking about bites earlier today. So, you know, I'm going to take my chances on that. I'm cool. It's still an amazing walk. It ain't changed the fact that it's an amazing walk, and I'm enjoying it. It didn't change that fact. Have y'all ever went to y'all's old neighborhoods and walked through them? Or have y'all ever went to y'all's old elementary, middle, or high schools and walked around, or actually been into the school and talked to your old teachers and things like that? Because that's something I kind of thought about doing too, going to my old schools. But I don't know, I wasn't really involved a lot in my school activities and stuff, so I don't know. But as far as the neighborhood thing, like, yeah. And I would do this a lot if I had a lot of different neighborhoods to walk through, but most of my moving was when I was like a child, when I was younger, so I don't even remember all those neighborhoods. This is like the main one I could remember and that I can walk through, and then my auntie and them still live over here, so it's not like I just come over here just to come walk through a neighborhood and don't got no family or anywhere to stop by. So I am having to walk all the way back around now, which I guess that part the dog kind of messed me up with, because it's a longer walk to have to walk all the way back around. If I would have kept walking that way, I would have already been almost back to my aunt's house. So now I'm having to take like a full trip back, and it is getting a little bit hotter. I probably smell like outside now. I'm starting to sweat. So I guess it was a little something, but it's cool. It's cool still. It's cool. I've always been the type that when I'm walking through a neighborhood or looking at a video of like quiet neighborhoods and stuff, I'm always wondering like what's going on in those houses, especially like when there's a car in the driveway, but the house seems like it's just so quiet, and like it still seems like nobody's there. Isn't an older person there? Especially in this neighborhood. This neighborhood was pretty much filled with like older people, so it would just be pretty much their kids that come every once in a while and visit them, but there was really only a few young people in the neighborhoods, and just me still walking by, I'm kind of like paying more. This is the weird man to it too much, and you can just see this is the only house with all these trees lined up in front of it to where you cannot barely even see the house. There's no other house in this neighborhood with all them trees right in front of it like that. So yeah, we used to call that the weird man's house. I don't know if he still lived there or somebody else lives there, but yeah. So I was just looking at these houses. I see like a car or two in the driveway, but just looking at the houses, there's no windows open or anything. It just seems like nobody's there, or like an older person is there and they're sleeping or something. I don't know. I kind of want to write about that. So I think that's going to be the theme. I thought the theme was going to be about dogs because I kept on, a lot of things about dogs kept coming up today. I kept hearing a lot of dogs barking, things about biting, seeing dogs. So I thought that was going to be the theme, but no. The theme is going to be, what is people doing in the comfort of their homes, or like the privacy of their homes? Like, what's going on? Like, are they there? What's going on when the cars are in the driveway but it seems like nobody's at home still? Or when there's not a car in the driveway but it seems like there's a party full in the house. I don't know. I'm gonna figure something out to write about that, because I'm really just staring at these houses, like really wondering and really wanting to go inside and explore and look around. And I guess meddle, because if you want to go all up in other people's houses to explore, it's kind of meddling in people's privacy. But I don't know, I'm just kind of curious how other people are living their lives, how other people are living their everyday lives. You know, what's going on behind the doors of other people's homes, because you know what goes on in the comfort of your own home, or when you go over your friend's house and all that, but you never really know what's going on in a stranger's home. So I'm at my aunt's house now. I'm gonna go in, talk to them, and I'll probably come back with the writing portion of this vlog. Today has been very eventful. I just came back in from seeing a couple of my friends from my old job, the one that I was no longer working at and I've been talking about. So, you know, one of my friends, she called me up. She was like, can you come down for a few minutes? I'm on my way to work. And, you know, I just thought I'd come by and talk to you. So I went out and saw her, and it's crazy because she was actually telling me about how she is ready to leave the job. Since I have been gone, there has been a lot of issues just accumulating and accumulating. So a lot of people have been quitting or getting fired or getting rolled up for, you know, very minor issues, petty reasons. So they're getting rolled up and they're thinking, you know what, I'm not about to keep getting rolled up for things like this. I'm about to just quit. But they're saying, you know, make sure I have another job in place first, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. Because another friend from work ended up coming down as well while we was out there, and it's pretty much the same thing for him. He was speaking about how they wrote him up, a petty reason, and he's just like, you know what, I'm about to go to these other jobs. Everybody's been talking about, you know what, we don't even care if it's a pay cut, because as long as we're mentally in a better space where we feel more comfortable at, and it's a job that we like more, we feel like we're more respected, you know, things like that, then it doesn't matter if you take a pay cut. Sometimes it ain't about the money. Like they say, all money ain't good money. So you can be working at a job making a good amount of money, but they not respecting you, they not treating you right, they you know, trying to write you up and do little petty, shady stuff to make it seem like they trying to get you up out of there or try to frustrate you. You know, ain't nobody got time for stuff like that. And of course, there's going to be problems at every job, but some jobs is going to be more problems than others. Some jobs is going to be unnecessary problems that, you know, another job you feel happier at because it doesn't have that type of issue. So that's that. A lot of people just so even me just talking about this with other people, they're like, yeah, it was the right time when you got out of there, because I've been gone for about a month now, and they're like, yeah, you got out at the right time, because things are just going down here from now. So I did say I was going to do a bit of journaling today, and even me, I changed my clothes to get a bit more comfortable. I had to take another shower because it was hot outside and I had all that black on. Gotta write the day as I always do. And, you know, I start off with a theme or a phrase. I really don't have a specific theme or a phrase right now. It's just kind of like I guess you can say it's kind of a theme, being in the comfort of your own home. But I kind of want to write that a certain way. I don't want to just really write the comfort of your own home, but that's how it's coming to me right now. So I'm going to say household. If I end up getting a lot written for this, I can actually put it together with a poem that I've already been working on, because I do have a poem that I remember writing something about household, like just writing household. It came to me, so I got a poem somewhere about that. Household, comfort of your home. Comfort of the home. And then I guess I'm just gonna write down like what words is coming to me about how I was taking that walk earlier in my old neighborhood, and it was just like a kind of weird curiosity, or a weird, curious, eerie type of feeling, because it was like it's daylight, you know, it's in the middle of the day, and you know there's cars in the driveways and stuff, but you don't really see anybody outside. I mean, I saw a few people outside tending to their yards and things like that, but you know, didn't see any kids, didn't hear any kids. I heard dogs, I saw dogs, but apart from that, it really wasn't much activity going on in the neighborhood. It just seemed quiet, like everybody was just inside in their beds, sleep, taking a nap, watching TV or something. So I'm like, what's everybody doing at home right now? Like, what's going on? What y'all in the house doing? I don't know. Like, it was just things like that. So with that, I can start out with quiet neighborhood. Do I want to start out with that, or do I want to leave that as one of the theme phrases? I don't know. I'll just start writing quiet neighborhood. Although it wasn't really quiet, because you could hear like the sound of cars driving by and the dogs barking, like I said, but not human, you know. It wasn't too much human activity going on out there that I heard, besides the cars driving by. Quiet neighborhood, curtains closed. Curtains closed, covering windows. This can also tie into the previous, one of the previous videos, the theme with windows to the eyes are the windows to the soul, and the poem that I had written for that. Covering windows. Backyards gated. Backyards gated. I'm starting to think about how I was just, you know, thinking of walking through the neighborhood and wondering if anybody was at home, what were they doing, what was going on in these homes. And it made me think about how when I got to my aunt's and I was, you know, knocking on the door for a few minutes and nobody was coming, I knocked on the windows. I went around to the other door and was knocking. I was knocking really loud. It wasn't like no little soft knock. I was really kind of beating a little bit, and nobody came, nobody answered. So it was like, knock knock, is anybody home? Hello, is anybody home? I even said that at one point. I was like, is anybody home? So I guess I want to kind of write that, knock knock, anybody home? I don't know. That's the game too, knock knock, who's there? I don't know, for some reason that came to me, so I'll think about that a little bit in a minute. So I was just writing about bees again. It's been a lot with bees and dogs lately. Like, bees was already a common theme that kept coming up, you know, and it's around that time for bees to be back out and everything. So maybe that's why, but the dog thing too. But now I'm writing about butterflies. So I was writing about bees, and then butterflies came to mind. So I'll talk about that a little bit too when I read a few quotes that I've written from this journal session. I kind of steered away from the whole house situation, you know, like what's people doing in their homes, by starting to talk about these bees and butterflies. But it's going to be kind of weird because I'm kind of jumping back into it without a clear bridge or reference to come back to that. So, you know, the last 4 words written was as they fly away, talking about the butterflies. And then I'm just going to jump into what are these people doing in their homes? I don't know. Maybe it'll come together in the end when I read it. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm just going to let it flow out how it wants to. You know, every now and then I stop and talk about it and maybe think a little bit, but for the most part, if my mind wants to switch and go back into a certain subject, then I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to try to be perfect with it and make sure of anything right now. All right, I just finished that writing session, and I will say, I was talking about it, kind of did a lot of weird switching up, talking about butterflies and then humans and their homes and stuff. But ending it up, like towards the end, I was kind of seeing, okay, they kind of go together a little bit. I kind of see, where I can go with it. So I'm going to read a few parts, and we'll see where it goes from there. If I can actually create a poem from it. This can just be a poem itself. Like, we'll see if I can create a poem for it, but the way I've written it right now, maybe it can just be left alone as a journal entry. But I don't know. For this one, it just really seems like I need to do some dissecting or diving deeper into it and see why my mind was jumping from here to there and make the connection. Okay, this is going to be the first time that I read the entire journal entry. So it's 1 full page, 2 full page, 3 full pages, and then a little bit. So this is going to be the first time I read the entire thing. Household, comfort of the home. Quiet neighborhood, curtains closed, covering windows, backyards gated, broad daylight, no one in sight. Knock, knock, is anyone home? No one heard the knocking, so I rang the doorbell. I rang the doorbell 3 times. A few seconds later, the door opens. Is it too hot to come outside? You want your nice cool air and not the hot fresh air or mosquitoes biting and flies buzzing annoyingly in your ears. You don't want to get stung by the bees or the wasps when they aren't even bothering you. But since you're afraid or have negative feelings towards them, it's almost like they chase you and then laugh as they turn and fly away. So like that part, I don't know why I just started thinking about you can be like, okay, me and my friend, we was standing outside and these bees kept on coming by, and she was like, there was one behind me. She was like, oh, it's a bee behind you. And then when it came by her, she was like, oh. So it's kind of like you try and run from these bees and they'll fly like they coming towards you, and then they'll just turn on back around. So it kind of make me think like, all right, they're going to chase you and play with you a little bit. They see that you scared. Oh, she's scared, so they're going to try to play with you, and then they just fly away laughing at you. So that's how that part came about. And then here's why I started talking about the butterflies. Butterflies peacefully and calmly flutter around the fields. You try to chase and catch them, but they just keep fluttering around lightly, peacefully, calmly, like they're doing the butterflies ballet, smiling as they fly away. What are the people doing in their quiet homes? Sitting in the dark? Are they quietly, lightly walking around so the floors don't creak? Is it so calm and quiet that you can hear the faucet leak? There's a car in the driveway, but maybe no one's home. Maybe they have a rental car for vacation. Maybe they drove in one car and left the other. Maybe a son or a daughter is visiting their parents, or just parent, their mother or father. And maybe they have hopes that they'll come back soon because it's the most human interaction they've had in a long while. Sometimes a knock at the door or a doorbell ring is startling, but sometimes it's music to their ears. Someone is here. It's not a dead-end street or a neighborhood. The mother or father says, things have changed. We've gotten rid of a lot and rearranged the space, but you're still welcome to make yourself at home. Don't make yourself a fly on the wall. I really like how I ended that with the don't let yourself be a fly on the wall, like how that ended and then tied it all together, because I was speaking about the flies earlier, like buzzing around in your ears, and then like things, you're trying to wonder what's going on in people's homes. So at the end, it kind of made a little correlation, a little connection there, and I don't know, I really love that part. If it's just the ending alone that I really like it. Don't let yourself be a fly on the wall. Like, you're still welcome to make yourself at home here, even with all the changes.